Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media account. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I've been done so already. I did finish the week with, 14 wins and 7 losses for a win rate of 66.67%. Not a good week. Probably one of the lowest weeks I've had in probably a year plus, if not maybe ever. I don't know. I don't remember what the lowest I've ever had is, but I've had red weeks in the past. But I was able to recover this week with some size on Friday, so I'm fortunate that that did happen. But anyways, I could have done a lot better. I tried to make some adjustments throughout the week that did work here and there, and just we'll get into that when we get to the trades. Now, the Trade Ideas channel on what was Monday? Let's see. I have to go to my other window. I had to update OBS, so now it's screwed up my monitors and stuff. So the 10th, yeah, Monday the 10th. So hopefully everything's recording fine. OBS had a big update for, well, I shouldn't say big update. I haven't updated it in years or a year. But anyways, getting off track. SPY puts under 406. Let's get the hourly up. Monday the 10th, which is right here. Why am I lagging? There we go. 410 right there. 410, 406. I'm already starting the video off, just saying stupid shit already. So you can see dumped hard pre-market. 406 was the lower day, or the bottom of these candle bodies right here from the previous day on Friday. So I kind of went off that. So what I've been doing is I've been waiting the first 30 minutes out. Used to wait the first 10-minute play, then I used to play the opening range breakout or breakdown on the first 10-minute candle depending on the direction. But lately SPY has been doing like literally 2 fake outs per morning, and you can literally count it right here. Tried to break out here, faked out, tried to break down here, faked out, then it actually broke out here. So you got fake out 1, fake out 2, then it finally popped a little bit. So I did manage to do something right here, but this is the first 30 minutes. It's been like this right here. It did break down a little bit, and being a fake out. It's been doing this almost every day. See right here, I did a fake drop, then it did a fake breakout. Well, actually it did break out, then it got slammed. So this is the first 30 minutes again. That's basically what's been happening on the right here. Same thing, first 30 minutes. It did have continuation to the downside. Then it did a fake out breakout right here, then it got slapped on. I mean, I can keep showing this. That actually had continuation, so that did work out. Yeah, but I think you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to do. So make sure I get the right day here. Get back to the 10th, which is right here. Now, first trade of the day, I took SPY SPX puts 40/70 puts at 958, which is right here. I got it prematurely. This is the fake out. It failed to break out right here, then it came back down. This is actually fake out number 2. I should have just not taken it. I mean, I did wait out the first 30 minutes, or I should say first 28 minutes. If I waited that extra 2 minutes, that probably could have made a difference. Or if I just waited and counted out the 2 fake outs. I mean, literally can count the 2 fake outs, and after the second fake out happens, you could probably take the trade. That's the way the market's been lately. So it always changes, evolves, gets trickier, trappier. So I did take it here at the 40/70 puts at 850. Then it faked out. Then I think I added more at 1028, which is right here. I don't know why I shouldn't have taken that, but yeah, I added more at 590, make my new average 720. Then I ended up cutting it at 360. So I really hate starting the week on a loss. The first trade I make, I do not like it being a loss. That kind of really kind of starts out the week wrong, on the getting off on the wrong foot, and I do not like doing that. So, but I did switch to calls at 11:04, which is right here. You can see it. But tried to get over the 20 EMA, rejected a little bit. Well, yeah, to get over that right there, but it did reject it down to VWAP. Then it quickly came back up to the 20 EMA. That's when I switched to calls. I grabbed the 40.85 calls at $8. Got a nice little play out of that because I went from $8 to $9.50. Nice little small win. I'm not going to complain about that. Then I took puts at 12:03, which is right here. Now, one thing I've been doing in the past that's been kind of burning me, so when you get these rounded tops, I would take puts right here, which normally it would pay off right here, but sometimes when you get these kind of tops that look like they're topping, they break these little bodies of candle. Like right here it broke it, ended up being a fake out. Right here it broke it, being a fake out. So you gotta be careful of that. So I use this candle right down here, a little lower, or even could have used the VWAP. SPY still likes to flush through VWAP and rage through VWAP. So especially if it chops underneath it, it likes to go through it. If it chops above it, it likes to flush through it. So far, that strategy still is working for the most part. So once it got below this 406.75 area, that's where I grabbed the puts, the 40.80 puts at 660, and they went from 660 to 990. So that ended up being a nice little play. Then I grabbed calls at 147, which is probably right here. No, I didn't grab it right there. What was here that happened? I don't remember the news. There was so much news this past week. I don't remember exactly what this was. But yeah, this was definitely news related. I didn't chase it. I waited till what? 147, which is right here. Okay, I remember this right here. Strong momentum move up. I didn't want to chase, but now we had this big red candle right here, engulfing red candle. I was like, okay, a lot of people are going to think that because you see a red candle, the top is in, and that's when you see these kind of setups where you have these long exaggerated moves and you get this red candle. People get prematurely into puts and call the top too early, and then you see it one more push. So in the room, when you see an exaggerated move and I see a pullback, I always say in the room most of the time that, we're going to end up seeing one more pop high a day, because everyone's going to jump in puts right here, thinking that the high of the day is in, we're going to drop. And then you have that ridiculous push to high a day again to take out the stop. So people jumping in puts right here, push it to high a day, take out the stops, and they end up pushing it down, but they didn't actually do that. So, but because they had that red candle right there, I took calls right over the 4870 area. I took the 40.95 calls at 790, and they went from 790 to 935 in that little push right there. But I did switch to puts at 1041, which is right at 241. And this is exactly what I was talking about. It failed to break out, got pushed down, broke out again, and it was a fake out, came back down. So I thought, okay, because it faked out once here, faked out twice, faked out third time's a charm. We get below this 408.50 area. This was where it was going to dump, because normally when you have that, it will end up being a fake out. But I got the 4100 puts at 550, and it just didn't work out, because as soon as it got and it ripped on me, and it just didn't work out. So I was kind of hoping that this would have been a fake out too, which it was. Came back down, that we would have actually dumped, but it ended up raging into close. So not a good end of the day play right there. But normally in the past I would take this over and over, because usually this would work, but it's just when you have three failed breakouts in a row, it does end up dumping. So it's just the way it is. But it did end up just continue going up. So that was Monday. It just didn't work out. So kind of a pisser that day. But anyways, on to Tuesday. Let's see, Tuesday. This is just a really massive chop fest. See, trade ideas room on Tuesday. SPY calls over 411, which is right here, pre-market high. First candle was red. Okay, this fake out number one. It didn't really just try to break high today. It just faked out here and bounced up and down right here. So I did take puts at 10:17. I waited to 10 o'clock right here. I didn't take it right here. I did. I took the puts right here at the 4105 puts at 750, and they went from 750 to 810. They didn't really get much of a move, holding the 200 EMA, which is this purple line right here. When it bounced off it and it quickly came back down, that's when I decided to take it. Didn't get much move out of it. In fact, I think I held it when it popped up here, then it came back down. I was able to get out over here, but I mean, this is just an hour chop. Actually, yeah, it's almost an hour right here, an hour of chop right here. So I think that was the day I was like thinking about just sitting out the first hour. Maybe it wasn't this day, maybe it was Wednesday, but anyways, we get a little bit of a small play, not that great of a play. Then I switched to calls at 1026, which is right here. Actually, you know what? I think I did get out here because I got into calls right here. Not unless I was holding both at the same time. Let's see. Let's see what I was doing on that day. What day of the 11th? 10:18. No, I got out immediately. I got out, yeah. Yeah, I did get out right in this drop right here. Yeah, so I get out in that little drop right there, and then I switched over when I broke these bodies of candle right here. Got the 41.15 calls at 690. Yeah, 690. Then it dropped, and I held on to them. I don't know why I held on to them, but I did. Well, it did end up working out. I averaged down 1148, which is right here, right here. So I averaged down, yeah. So I had the 41.15 calls I bought here, dropped. I averaged down more here. I got more at 410, make my new average 550. Then it finally took off. So they went from 550 to 760. Not that great of a trade right there. So kind of didn't do too well on that one. It's been really, really tricky week. So if you didn't do that well this week, or you got trapped and tricked a lot, it was definitely a tricky week. So don't beat yourself up over it. To calls again at what, 1239, which is right here. I got on the pullback to VWAP. This one I did buy the dip on this one. That's been pretty much working all week long. Is that SPY gets going in a direction, it just goes crazy. So when it pulled back to VWAP in the 20 EMA, that's where I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 41.10 calls at 660, and they went from 660 to 1170. So that worked out. And then I bought calls again at a 307, which is right here. Right when it pulled back. No, not when it pulled back. 310. Yeah, right in here I got it. Got it right when it broke over the 411 area. I got the 4 yeah, I got the 41.15 calls. Yeah, because this one was over here was 41.10. No, this one was 41.10, and this one's 41.15. And the 41.15 calls I got at 610, and they went from 610 to 990. These ones right here that I got on the dip, they went from 660 to 1170. I don't know if I screwed up the amounts or not, but I'm trying to just clarify that. So yeah, bought here, averaged down, sold, bought the dip, sold. Didn't do anything when it came up here, pulled back, quickly came back to higher day. I grabbed calls, and they went from 610 to 990 on the 41.15 calls. Then I switched to puts when I got underneath the 41.50 area. Yeah, right when I got below the 41.50 area, I grabbed the 41.20 puts at 210, and they went from 210 to $12. I was not expecting this kind of level of dump right here. So yeah, it was kind of crazy how that did end up working out, because this 410 area was pretty substantial area all week long. As you can see on the hourly, rejected here, support and resistance, went through it, and then it was kind of bouncing around it right here. Then and now it's supporting it on Friday. So you can see this 410.50 area was pretty big. So I was not expecting that kind of a dump, but I was expecting a little bit of a dump. But that was a bigger dump than I was expecting. So 5 wins on Tuesday. I mean, I could have done this trade right here better, but it is what it is. Then we have FOMC day. I've been avoiding FOMC day trading in the morning, and I do that primarily because if I take a couple losses, I'm reluctant to play FOMC. So to me, I think it's just worth it just to stay out until like noontime or 1 o'clock and just sit and wait and not do anything, not take chances, or take the unnecessary risks, because FOMC days are the days you want to play the actual statement and the press release and Powell talking and stuff like that. But we didn't have Powell talking this week. It was just without him. And I prefer the FOMC days without him because the SPX is so much cheaper. You can buy right at the money, and the small moves, they just go they go crazy. So didn't do anything. This was FOMC right here. I grabbed the 41.20 puts and the 41.20 calls, same strike, puts and calls. I got the puts at $6.40 and I got the calls at $8. The first, it dropped a little bit, so that puts went from $6.40 to $8.80. Then the calls popped. They went from $8 to $10.40. So not much of a play. We got a little bit of a play, so I'm not going to complain about that. Then I grabbed calls at 220. This is where I got faked out right here, because I sold the puts here and I sold the calls here, and yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, then I opened up right here and I grabbed calls again, closer out a little bit. I got the 41.25 calls this time. I tried to reload thinking, okay, we wick in here, we drop, we pop up, and we're going to actually get that pop. So when I sold my calls right here, we pulled back a little bit, and then when we did, I was thinking, okay, and it started to run up, and that's when I grabbed the calls right here. So I sold the actual FOMC play right here and got out green. Then it started to pull back, as you can see the wick right here, and I opened the candle right there, and it popped. And I was like, okay, I'll jump into it because this thing's gonna rage. And as soon as I did at the 41.20 calls, I got a 670. It just dumped, so I dumped it at $1.70. Then I switched to puts. Oh, this is what happened. Yeah, I might have I said something on Twitter about it. The ECB said something that the more rate hikes were going to come in. So the market was strong, and the ECB came out and said something about rate hikes, and the market just dumped, and it was kind of crazy. So I was in calls when that news headline came out, so that's how I got that. If that headline didn't come out, those calls probably would have taken off. But I mean, it's part of trading. It is what it is. You're at the mercy of headlines and events that happen in the world, and the political world, and all around the world. So there's a lot of unknowns and things happening right now that one headline can just change the dynamic of the market. So you just get, and this is proof of that. I was in calls. The ECB, as soon as I got on calls, literally like within 30 seconds after I get in, the ECB headline came out. I remember that now. Then I dumped them, and I switched over to puts. We had the big candle right here. I got in at 4,100 at $7. I averaged down at 510 at making my new average 605, because I bought right down here, I think. Then it bounced up a little bit because of that news was pretty dramatic. No, I didn't get this thing right here. I got it right here. Yeah, this is where I got it. Excuse me. For some reason I got it here. I got it here. 252. right here when it popped up. I grabbed it right in here on the green candle, and I added more. So yeah, I got the 4,100 puts at $7. I added more at 510 to make my new average 605. This was a perfect FU setup right here. Usually I wait down here, but I bought the dip. When it retraced up, I bought more. Well, I didn't buy the dip. I mean, I reloaded puts right here. So because perfect FU setup right here. Exaggerated red candles, green candle giving a little bit of hope to calls, thinking that bottom's in, and then it flushes more. So I played that kind of prematurely, but I anticipated it, and that definitely could have gone the other way. But with the rate hike news and the banking crisis and all the things are going on in the world, I think that not only did the ECB scare the market, but they might have made the FOMC second guess itself. So market didn't like that. So to me, when it bounced, me grabbing puts and going against me a little bit, averaging down more, paid off, and it paid off pretty big. So they went from 605 with my average to 13. So 100% play rate there. So that ended up working out really, really, really well. Now on to Thursday. Thursday was not a good day. Let's see. Trade ideas room on the 13th. Yeah, I didn't even put trade ideas in the room on the 12th. FOMC. I didn't even look at it. So it's a SPY calls over 410. You get the wick of this candle right here. So 410 right there. That was my initial call, but for some reason I jumped into puts again. Again, I did the same thing at 9:59. Got the red candle. You get the first fake out right here. Second fake out right here. As it failed to break out right here, it came back down quickly. That's where I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 40.95 puts at 740, and it popped on me a little more up here, and then I averaged down more at 260, making my average to 380, and I just cut it at 2. So it is what it is. I could have avoided this. Another loss I've taken I could have avoided. So 2 losses at least I could have avoided, but if I just stuck with my 410, I definitely would have done better. But I did switch to calls at 11 o'clock, which is right here. We get this exaggerated move. We get the pullback, and it came back up. I grabbed calls right here. Right over the 410, 75 area. I grabbed the 4120 calls at 780, and then it went from 780 to 830 right there. Not much of a move. Then it pulled back a little bit, but I didn't grab puts right there. I waited. I grabbed puts right at the 212. So I grabbed it right at the RCT trend line right here. I grabbed it right there. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, these are the kind of days I do the worst on, when they just do massive straight up moves. Usually I try to wait for something positive. I mean, I know that I took 2 losses. I mean, I got faked out right here that I probably could have avoided, but I took the calls right here. I didn't want to call top here. I saw the red candle. But to me, I didn't want to buy calls right here because I think at this particular time that the RSI was well over 80 on the time frame, and I do not like buying calls when it's oversold. I mean, overbought that much. I just prefer just to sit out and wait. So I pretty much sat out from 10:30, from 11 o'clock. From 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So I sat out 3 hours because I didn't want to chase this. I mean, I could have, but remember what I always say in the room, that, and you can look at the chart after the fact and you can say, oh, I should have taken this move, I should have taken that move. But that's really easy to say after the fact when it's all said and done, because you already know how it's playing out. But when you're doing it in real time, you get to, you think a little bit and try to use some common sense. And to me, I was not chasing calls after a massive run up and being over 80 on the RSI. And to me, I can go higher, but to me, I feel like that's just too risky and it wasn't worth it. So I was sitting out. Then we get to the RCT trend line. Usually it's a really, really good area to short, but right here it did, but it didn't have an insane run up either. But I got it here. I got the 41.50 950 puts at 970. It dropped a little bit, and then it did broke out, then chopped, and then I ended up dumping it. So I'm thinking we were going to get a nice end of the day dump, and it just didn't happen. These are the worst days to trade, when they're straight up or straight down with no real pullback. I mean, yeah, you could say they pull back right here, but that's not really much of a pullback. This is a pullback when it actually has a pullback. This is just like consolidation and sideways action, and just ridiculous moves. And these, you can't trade this. I mean, if you want to buy calls when the RSI is already over 80, go for it. You can, but I'm not. Remember, I mean, this is the room, and the way I play and my alerts are based on what I'm taking and what I'm doing. I mean, if you want to do something different, you don't want to do what I'm doing, then do it your way. That's fine, but I'm not doing that. If you want to chase this madness, go for it, but I am not. So I'm just sharing my trades and what I'm doing, and you can take it with a grain of salt and do what you want with it, but I am not chasing calls over 80 RSI. I don't care what time frame it is. That's just asking for trouble. So even though I was patient and waited and tried not to guess the top, I still got it wrong. So, I mean, I'm not going to be right all the time. No one is right all the time. So Thursday was not a good day. I did take SPY puts overnight. I took the SPY 414 puts overnight. Because of this exaggerated move, I got the 415 puts at 170. And we didn't get much of a pullback. I mean, we kind of like stayed around this 413.50 area. Got over it, got back under it. Then when we opened, as soon as it opened, I got out. So I just had this feeling, because we weren't breaking below this 412.15 area, 412.50 area, that we were just going to pop. So I got about 170 and I got out at 160, 10 cents loss. So nothing to worry about. Tiny loss. But then I took calls at 10.06, right? 10.06 right here. I bought the pullback. I bought 10.06. I bought the 41.60 calls at $7. Now I bought the dip. I probably bought it. I probably should go down to a lower time frame so I can actually see where I actually did grab it. Let's see. 406. I bought it at VWAP. 10.06. Yeah, I bought it at VWAP. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. I shouldn't have done. I bought the knife. Yeah, right in the VWAP. This is where I grabbed it right here, thinking, okay, and this exaggerated move up, I'm going to buy the dip, and it just kept dipping. So the 41.60 calls I had at $7. I dumped them at $3. Then I switched to puts at 10.42, which is right down here. Right down here. I didn't take lower day. I probably could have taken lower day. Bounced up. Then when I broke below this area, 412, that's where I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 41.30 puts at 8.50. And then went from 8.50 to 10. So that worked out pretty good. Then I switched to calls at 12.41, which is right here. Oh, right when it came down to the 4:10.50 area. As soon as it got that back down here, you can see on the hourly, I pointed out earlier, it just loves this area. So when it came back down to it, I bought calls. I didn't have no fear. I grabbed the 41.20 calls at 5.90. I got them rated in here, and it dipped down a little bit below. Then it raged, so they went from 5.90 to 10.60. So we got a nice push right there. Then it pulled back, tried to make a new lower day, which it did for a second. Then I got bought. I did not grab calls right there. I was kind of hesitant about grabbing it there again, because we could just, the calls were only good for the initial reaction. When it comes back down into it a second time, I'm very leery of that, because it could flush down more, but it did bounce there again. And once it got over the 411.35 area, that's where I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 41.20 calls again at 5.80, and then went from 5.80 to $12 right there. So there was definitely a lot safer to grab them here, the calls here, than down here because we already had the initial pop right here and it rejected the 20 EMA. And I didn't want to grab puts there either because it's such a huge level. I rather just waited and it ended up working out. So I took some size in these plays, in this play right here. I think it was this play, or was it this play? No, I think it was this one. One of them I took size in. I think it was this one. And I think I did take a little bit of size in this one too, but one of them I took a pretty good size in. I think it was this one. But anyways, they went from $5.80 to $12. So got a good move out of that, and I called it for the day. I turned my wheat green. I think this was the last play that I turned my wheat green, and I was like, okay, my wheat's green. I'm done. I'm not gonna do anything stupid. So definitely a hard week. It is what it is. So that's going to do it for the recap. Hope this has helped. Hopefully next week will be better. And thanks for watching.